All right, good morning everyone. I am here at Sibos 2025 in Frankfurt, Germany. This is an amazing show. I'm very happy to be at the Intellect EU conference booth and doing a presentation here. My name is Daniela Barbosa. I'm the Executive Director of LF Decentralized Trust, and Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust is where, for the last 10 years at the Linux Foundation, organizations like Intellect EU have been contributing to the blockchain and decentralized identity space. I've known the Intellect EU team since 2017. I remember quite well the first time I met Hannah Zubko, their CEO, was actually at Sibos in Toronto in 2017, and it's actually been fantastic to see the company grow and really become leaders in the industry. I'm here today to talk about driving digital money innovation through a global ecosystem. The conversations here at Sibos have been really about digital assets and tokenization, and a lot of the work that our community for the last 10 years has done is really coming to fruition in developments, in production implementations across the industry, which is fantastic to hear. When we talk about the shift to digital money, a couple of the things that we see our community talking about and working through as the global momentum between central bank digital currencies, stable coins, of course, tokenized deposits, and real-world assets. Some of the drivers that we see across the industry that are really driving the technology that we host here at Linux Foundation is efficiency, financial inclusion, transparency, and regulatory pressures and opportunities as well. Of course, with all the opportunities, there's certainly challenges that the market sees, fragmentation and the lack of proprietary systems, and obviously more and more geopolitical issues and concerns around the world. But there is no doubt there's a shift to digital money, and for those of you who don't know about the Linux Foundation, for the last 10 years we have been the home for the most important blockchain and decentralized identity projects. It's really important to look at how our foundation has grown. If you don't know what an open source foundation does, we host the code and the standards for many of the projects that many of the banks are using. And it's really important from a decentralized perspective that we all know that open source has won. There is no doubt that most of the code that you're going to see implemented in these systems are going to be open source. But what we really advocate for and what's really important is open source that is openly developed. It means that essentially anyone can see who's developing, who's contributing, and who's really leading the roadmap of these code projects as well. Open source that is openly developed and openly governed is also extremely critical to building market infrastructure and other types of systems. And it's certainly essential for decentralized technologies. It's no longer just putting open source in a GitHub and having one company contribute and essentially maintain it. So we see a lot of move in the ecosystems to bring code into the foundation, because open source that's openly developed and openly governed is really critical to these market systems. For the last 10 years, as I said, we've been the home for most important blockchain projects. And we've always had the idea that there is not one blockchain to rule them all. And we certainly see in even recently more and more proliferation of blockchain networks across the ecosystem as well. When we talk about the permissioned DLTs, and they're never going to go away. There's always going to be use cases that need permissioned DLTs, to completely permissionless blockchains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Hedera, etc. We always saw that the spectrum of blockchains in the enterprise space, which were very in the permission side, and then in the public blockchain space, and we're seeing a convergence of these markets coming together and really understanding the use cases that each needs. For us, as we look at the code projects that are in the foundation and have been coming to build a developer and engineering community around it, we really are following what the market needs. And you can see throughout the projects really focused on how the market is implementing these solutions. This comes with permission DLTs like Hyperledger Fabric, which is one of the most used permission DLTs in the world, to projects like Besu, for example, which is the Ethereum EVM that is currently running 16% of the Ethereum mainnet as an execution client, but also running a majority of the EVM tokenization digital asset platforms around the world. But it's not just about DLTs. We also have projects that are focused on interoperability, for example, as we very early on understood that interoperability is quite important, and other projects as well. So welcome to LF, Decentralized Trust, Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. And it has been 10 years, we're going to be celebrating our 10th year anniversary at the end of this year. Many of you might know us from the brand of Hyperledger projects. Last year we expanded our mission and scope to Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. And our community continues to grow, and not just in projects, but in developers that are part of our ecosystem as well, which is really great to see. As I mentioned before, we have a growing landscape of projects that come into the foundation. The way that we categorize them is ledger technologies, interoperability, as I mentioned, integration and implementation. How do these things then get put into production in the enterprise? We have an ever-growing project portfolio around decentralized identity, including last year we merged with Trust over IP, which is working on the trust governance for the internet. And there's other projects in the cryptographic tools and protocols. We have a new project called Lockness, which is an MPC signature threshold library. And our newest category in smart contracts, we've had Hyperledger Solang, which is a Solidity compiler for a while. And just last month, we welcomed a new project called Minokoa, which is the smart contract language for the Midnight Network, coming out of the Midnight Foundation. So we're very excited that multi-ecosystems want to come to the foundation. We also have over 50 labs, and this is a place where innovation truly is happening, and we are seeing lots of inbound projects in the zero knowledge proof category, for example, as well as others in the AI space as well. One of the things that we're here at Sibos and a lot of conversations around central bank digital currencies, the majority of projects that are really moving around the world are using some of our projects, including Hyperledger Fabric, Besu, Cacti, Firefly, and Aurora. We also have central banks that have developers and are participating in our community, which is really important. And just last week we made an announcement, because we were coming here to Frankfurt in Germany, that the Deutsche Bundesbank, so the German central bank, joined as an associate member of the foundation. This makes 9 central banks who are part of LF Decentralized Trust to really support the work that we do, and we're very proud of being able to do that for the community. Just very quickly, a couple of the use cases that I thought this audience might find interesting around the use. MasterCard's multi-token network, MTM, uses Hyperledger Besu. All of these case studies are on our website, and you can come and get some more information around it. The DTCC and their tokenized real collateral management system is also powered by Besu and has been for a while, and there's a lot of great enhancements and that have been going on. Looking at HSBC, they have multiple projects that leverage either Hyperledger Fabric or Besu and really bringing tokenization projects into the marketplace. And Citibank with Citi Treasury Services with Citi Token Services, which is built on Besu as well. So a lot of production implementations that are using Besu specifically. In Japan, we see the JSCC, they have a live production implementation of tokenized settlements for commodity futures. In Europe and around the world, Finality with collateral assets, and the FMIs, and Finality has over, I think, close to 20 different participating banks now, and has for the last 5 years really been building out their Besu competencies. In the trade finance world, GSBN leverages Hyperledger Fabric, and We have Hyro, which is the code base for the Hedera network. That was a new project that came in September, and they just launched the first Australian dollar stablecoin with Hyro, which is AUDD. So we're seeing a lot of movement, obviously, in the stablecoin ecosystem, and the Hedera ecosystem is certainly one of the ones that we're seeing. We also just got word, as I was headed here to my trip, that in Brazil, the Safra Bank just launched the Safra dollar, also built with Besu, and I would be remiss to say that we are seeing a lot of stablecoin projects in the ecosystem across our projects. But that is just a short snippet of the work that our community is building. Once again, we host the code, and many of our members, like Intellect EU and many others, are the ones building out these solutions for the marketplace. If you go on our website, you can see our use case tracker that now has over 300 use cases built with all our projects as well. Some of the key building blocks that our community is working on now, and I'll see through the next year, is working on standards, working on privacy tech that continues to be a very important aspect, identity and trust, interoperability, of course, and compliance terms. So a lot of this community work is happening, and I encourage you to come to our community and participate in these discussions, participate in building out the next level of trust for the industry. We have a very strong and growing ecosystem of developers and engineers, over 127,000 participants in our meetup community. Every week there's 2 to 3 to 5 different meetups on different topics, so please do visit us. We also have regional chapters. We have a regional chapter here in Europe, which is just started about 6 months ago. Lots of regional activities in India, in Japan, in Latin America, in Brazil, and in Africa as well. So we welcome you to participate in any of our communities. Last but not least, if you don't know what an open source community is, everything is open. You can participate, you can contribute. We have a community calendar on our website. You can attend every call that you're interested in. All are welcome, and we encourage everyone to participate. If it's a little scary to participate in an open source community, just listen in. You can watch the recordings and get yourself acquainted, but we really would love to see everybody participating as well. We have a lot of training and certification. If you're interested as an engineer to be certified, to be a professional certified developer for either Hyperledger Fabric or Besu, you can now get that certification. And you can also be certified to be a certified service provider as well. And Intellect EU has been one of the first certified service providers in the world as well. So congratulations to them once again. So if you're ready to shape decentralized technologies and really be part of what digital money is moving, we welcome you. And once again, I want to thank Intellect EU for all their support over the years and your continued contributions to our community. Thank you so much for having me here today.